Hello, it's me, Steven, the calculator guy, and I have gotten a ton of requests to talk about Zero and other ohm forks. So if you know what OlympusDao is, which I'm sure most of you do if you're anywhere near DeFi this year, it is an algorithmic reserve currency backed by a bundle of other decentralized assets. The majority of them are USD stablecoins, but Olympus is branching out, and I think they will eventually accomplish their mission. They have an amazing DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization full of incredibly intelligent people who are working very diligently towards Ohm's success. The DAO, I believe, is their key to success, and they're closing in on true decentralized autonomy as a protocol. Okay, so that said, there are a bunch of forks, right? What is a fork? It's where you essentially copy the code and then put a new skin on it and say, hey, look, I have a protocol too, right? There are so many forks or clones of like Sushi Swap, of Pancake Swap, and now plenty of forks on Ohm. So this has sort of been circulating. You may have seen it, you may not have seen it. It's just a list of the forks and the upcoming forks. No, I'm not going to share this. And the reason why I'm not going to share this is because a lot of these are going to be rugs. You're going to lose money. That's just the way it is. So, so anyways, back to Zero. Let's sort of talk about the genealogy of these forks, right? One of the first ones was Time. There were some forks that very early on precipitated and failed. Asgard is notably a super failed fork. That was kind of early. There was another one before that. I can't remember the name of it. But there was Time, and Time did pretty well and is doing pretty well. And sure, it's below resistance right now. Really hoping to break the resistance here, but we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. There's OlympusDao, which took a massive hit but bounced back pretty well. This was when all the reserve currencies were sort of falling. Olympus did great, of course. They're the OG, but Time and Klima, the two big ones, fell. Time went all the way down to 6,200. Klima, I think, flash crashed to 700. While many of the other forks, the totally unaccepted forks, the totally sort of unacknowledged forks, and in many cases the totally anonymous forks with no teams exploded and rugged. One of them was SquidDao. I want to say the name of it was SquidDao. Another one was Exodia. So Exodia went up to like, I want to say 17,000. Now it's down to 6,000. Granted, it's up from 4,000, so take that for what you will. It is, I believe, the most popular one of these on the Phantom network. However, wrapped memo exists on the Phantom chain, so I would recommend getting that instead. I mean, this is higher risk than Time and also lower APY. So why are people buying this except for to capitalize on potential upward price action? I don't know. Do I like the name? Sure. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid, but not for me. Sorry, not going to invest in it. Too risky. Okay, now Z20. I do actually appreciate the amount of work that went into this Olympus clone. They have all of these data points in their dashboard, which I think is the same amount of data points as Wonderland. Yeah, so it's more of a Wonderland clone than it is Olympus clone, at least by the dashboard. And it's probably one of the most well put together ones. However, the Z20 price is nearly impossible to track and chart, and so you have to sort of do it by hand and by memory and by looking at it. And I believe yesterday the price was about 800 and something, so it has gone down to about half of that. The APY ridiculously high, but the rebase is what? Does it even say? Do I have Arbitrum? I think I have Arbitrum. Yeah. The rebase is 0.79, so pretty high. It's like 2 No, it's like, yeah, 2.4% daily, which is great if you're not losing 30% daily, which it did overnight. So do I recommend it? No, of course not. First of all, I don't recommend things, but in terms of the forks, the only ones that I see as having things that approximate a DAO or things that approximate strong leadership are Ohm, but not being a fork, Time, and Klima. Now, Zeus has tweeted about Rome and said, they're promising what Wonderland and Time should have done. Big drama there. I don't want to get into that, but yeah, I don't want to pick sides on that one. I can see both perspectives, right? On the one hand, there was a promise made. On the other hand, that promise is really hard to fulfill given the rising cost of Olympus. Meetings were had between interested parties. Words were exchanged. Tweets were deleted. So I really hope that amends can also be made between Danny, Zeus, Jaws, and the teams. Really hope so, because that would be great for the entire reserve currency ecosystem. Okay, so Zero, no. Not for me. I'm not going to endorse it. People keep asking me about it. The answer is no. It's a super high risk play. If you want to jump in on it, go ahead, but it's not for me. And the reason why a lot of these are going to fail is bank runs. So if a few people have the majority of the holdings, they can start selling, and selling will cause more selling, in my opinion, and it'll deplete the protocol. Additionally, look at these bonds. These bonds are terrible. If you don't bond, if you don't mint, then you don't get treasury increase. If you don't get treasury increase, the APY is completely unsustainable. So Zero is a no for me, dog. Exodia is a no. If I was going to invest and I had to choose three, you know what I would be choosing. Ohm, Time, Klima. Additionally, there's Rome coming up. Now, you may or may not know, but Rome promised to do what Time promised, which is have a big chunk of Ohm as in their reserves. However, from what I understand, they deleted that from their Medium article. So, keep an eye out, see if they're continuously promising that. And if they make good on that promise, then hey, good for them. They might be in the good graces of the Ohmies, which is a huge and powerful community of investors. So keep Rome on your radar. Don't discount them just yet. There are so many of these, right? So you can just look at all of these. OlympusDao is another one that people are excited about. I think that one has good tokenomics. I think they're doing something slightly different, which I like. However, they're being weird and occultish, and I get that that's part of their shtick. They're trying to attract a lot of people with this sort of mysticism. And really what people are here for is to make money off of decentralized finance. And I don't think people are really as into the mysticism as they think so. And the hype has slowly gone away as they've gone a little bit too far with it, in my opinion. So OlympusDao, I think, is sort of... they've killed themselves with their own best marketing tool, which is unfortunate. But so I personally won't be investing, but I think like if I had to list the top 10, OlympusDao would probably be in there. Rome Finance is like on the most interesting up and coming. Gyro has been doing all right. You won't catch me investing in Gyro just because I'm not on the Binance Smart Chain, because like their gas is approaching Ethereum gas levels, which I just don't like. I don't want to deal with. I don't have to because there are so many other chains and so many other great opportunities. So yeah, Time is great, Klima is great, Ohm is great. And in my opinion, it goes Ohm, Time, Klima. I want Klima to succeed for obvious reasons. Good for the environment, good for people's money. However, when it first came out, I thought the market cap was way too high. It was like $1 billion in the first half an hour, first 10 minutes. After the hour and a half late launch, or however long it was. Time has built its market cap, I think. pretty well with good minting mechanisms and low gas fees. Definitely has earned its spot up in the top 30 now. So we'll see how those goes. I would stick with those ones if you want to be a safe investor. If you want to be sort of a degen or a degen, by all means, you can hop on some of these, though they're hard to chart because a lot of them are brand spanking new, and I cannot recommend them. At the end of the day, very much like swaps and dexes, you want to go with the ones that are trustworthy and still have decent APR, APY. So, for example, like if you're on the Phantom chain, which you guys know that I love, you have Spooky Swap and Spirit Swap as like the go-to top swaps, right? You can do LP on there, and you know that your funds are relatively safe, and they're going to get decent yields, right? Then you have ones that are like medium, like liquid. I would even say liquid drivers in the good graces in the top, but you have medium ones like Morpheus maybe, or let's see what else. You get the idea. There are a few other ones. Don't with the Pac-Man, Waka, but then you have newer ones, right? You have newer ones that are really new and really bad that sort of explode. I don't want to throw any of those under the bus, so I'm not going to mention them. But then you have other ones that are new and doing pretty good. And so those are the ones that you want to look for. So Scarecrow is an example, in my opinion, of a new-ish one that's doing pretty well. It's got a bunch of interesting options, got really high APR and APY, seems to be sustaining itself pretty well and not exploding in the first week like a lot of these do. If they're going to die, most of them die within a week. From way too high APR, APY. Then if they make it past the month mark, you'll see reduced APR, APY, and good health. You should look for similar things in these protocols. Watch them for that first week. Don't touch them if you can. You'll see them. If they're gonna rug soon, generally speaking. And then look for the ones that survive. So I think Clima is going to survive for a while longer. Definitely, I think Time is going to survive as long as Danny's ecosystem survives. And I love what he's doing with Meme, so we'll see. And I think Ohm is going to survive. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting because if Ohm stays in their trajectory in 2 years, I think they would be a bigger coin than Bitcoin. So things are going to get interesting with Ohm for sure. All right, so that's it. I just wanted to sort of give you my opinion on reserve currencies. In short, I like 3 of them and only 3 of them, and I think that forks with no DAO are just not going to make it. And forks that have no use case at all. So Time has a use case in so much as it's going to be the treasury for the DAO that sort of presides over part of Danny's massive ecosystem. The DAO has yet to precipitate, but Danny is a trusted individual to an extent, and if he makes good on the precipitation or the actualization of the DAO, it'll be big, and it can do big things. Clima already has a bit of a DAO, has semi-good graces with Ohm, and then Olympus has a very robust DAO. So look for the DAO. Does it exist? Does it not exist? Is it big? Does it have a decent team? If it has none of those things and it's just a random fork and you can't find who the leadership is or what the use case is, don't invest in it. Okay? All right. Be smart, be safe, be smafe. I'm out. Thank you.